and welcome back to We Weren't Friends in High School, the podcast where I reconnect with classmates from my graduating class of Wissahickon High School in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I'm Brad Corbett, class of 2001. Episode 105 got tremendous feedback, and I'm just really happy that people are continuing to find the podcast and are supportive of the guests on the show. Jason's story was incredible, and everyone's reaction to it was just super positive, and there was some great discussion. And if you haven't checked it out, I urge you to go back to the previous episode 105 with Jason Herb and listen to it. It was really, really powerful. The social media. We Weren't Friends in High School on Instagram, WWF in High School on Twitter. I'm at REDSHIRTPLAYA pretty much everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you're listening to this podcast because you clicked on a Facebook link or a Twitter link, you can subscribe. This podcast is available everywhere that you listen to podcasts. Google Play, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I don't know, whatever it is that you use, it's going to be there. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll get it there. That way you can stay updated. This week, my guest is Kim Deveny. We first recorded this podcast on a Friday. Full disclosure, Kim and I got dinner first and had a couple drinks. Not something that I normally do. Needless to say, Kim and I felt wasn't our best podcast. That's never ever happened before. So Kim actually texted me the very next day and said, I want to do it again. So Kim and I actually went to this really fun Blues and Barbecue festival that was happening out in Port Richmond. And after that, we came back and we did another podcast. So we had a couple of drinks, but we were not quite in the condition that we were the day before. When I drink, I can get a little bit more chatty patty from time to time. I think this is definitely one of those episodes. But at the same time, Kim, I found her personality to be very easygoing. And so a lot of the questions that I might ask some of my guests didn't really hit Kim the same way. She didn't have a lot of things that she necessarily was opinionated on in the high school world. And it took a little bit of time for me to kind of get some opinions out of her. In fact, it took probably about 4 hours. This was a really long recording. When you couple that with the day before that we did, I have a lot of Kim Deveny audio. Guys, I'm cracking up right now. So I have a lot of Kim Deveny audio, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it all. What this is the best that I could do with this conversation. Kim is looking through multiple yearbooks during our entire conversation. And so at random times, she might just come upon a face and think of something about that person. And next thing you know, we're just in a conversation about that topic. So this thing kind of jumps around from time to time, but it's really fun. And there's some gems in there. So I just invite you to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sounds of Kim Deveny. We're going to take it nice and easy.
Okay.
Check. 1, 2, check. Kim Deveny.
Back again.
Here you are. So, Kim, we're going to have a nice casual conversation. We're going to take it easy. We're going to talk about life. Life in school, life beyond, right?
Yes.
So, I already know, full disclosure, we've now hung out for like a day and a half.
Yeah.
And so now I already know a lot about you. You went to Shady Grove, where I met you. We've already talked about how you were part of the fearsome foursome of girls.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We've already talked about how I connect you to songs on the bus going to the Crayola factory, right? With Technotronic Shake Your Body. So let's move on to like high school. So you grew up in Ambler?
Yeah. West Ambler. Railroad Ave. 448 Railroad Ave.
And then did you actually hang out with anyone like in West Ambler, or did you?
I mean, like
you had an older
Reenie,
boy.
remember Reenie and
Yep.
Champ.
Yep.
Josh, I said that. Yeah. I mean, I was like cool with everybody.
Yeah.
Brooke Johnson every once in a while, but I don't know. Like I said, I think I just kind of like hung out with different people all the time.
Yeah, you said you kind of like
Bounced
moved
around.
from that was the term. You bounced around from group to group to group.
Yeah.
And you kept it kind of fun and
Yeah. Like when I was looking through the yearbooks and everything, I started like remembering people from middle school. I was like, oh yeah, I did hang out with them all the time and stuff. I just don't think about that stuff until you start going through it all again. You're like, oh yeah. I think the majority of the time the people I hung out with is just because I always thought that they were funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
In the sense of humor.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff would you guys do? What would you do like in that time? Is that like
in high school?
Yeah, like funny stuff. Where is it just like hang and just get a little high and just chill, or is it like
I was stoned most of the time.
But were you like you guys going to do events, or are you going to the movies? You guys going to concerts? Like what's the high school social life like? I didn't do a lot of like outside stuff. We would like my friends would go to friendlies, but other than that, we would like sit in someone's house and watch the Sixers and eat buffalo wings. So,
right. Well, like we talked about that. Like you just kind of hop in someone's car and drive around.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things I do miss about Ambler. Like a lot of times I would walk to Francesco Santo's house often, and then like if somebody would come pick us up and we drive around. You know, like I do miss walking around Ambler, or just people like you're walking and all of a sudden someone pulls up and like, yo, you want to smoke a blunt? You're like, yeah, I guess.
The answer's always
might
yeah.
as well. Yo, Kim, what are you up to? Yeah, I'll go. We're just driving around. Like we said, what was that name of the street that we used to launch the cars off of?
Oh, in upper
off of
Township
Morris
Line Road.
Yeah.
Township Line Road.
Yeah, and the railroad tracks.
Right
like,
by 73.
Like I love that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
just
fun.
Anybody, it's funny.
But you said you weren't like a huge like house partier or like quote unquote we're all going to the party type of thing. You said you like occasionally you would go with like a group, but you didn't always get in, or but that wasn't like always like your thing to do that.
Yeah, no, it was mostly like listen to music, drive around,
So like I didn't really know about it, and it would be something that when I would come to school on Monday, you would hear the this
about
and the
parties?
that. Yeah, but would that be something that you were in the know beforehand? Like, hey, there's going to be a party at this person's house, and like whether you're not, even if you're not going, but
maybe randomly.
Yeah,
but yeah, no.
But you like knew that there wasn't like I felt like that wasn't a thing I knew about.
Oh, see, like because remember I had my older sister Deborah, and her graduating class was like 99. Remember they had a lot of kids that were getting into like drunk driving accidents and everything. Like they were huge drinkers. I think there's a lot of them in their like senior quote, all like say 40 ounces to freedom.
Wow.
But yeah, there was a bunch of them that were like, you know, drinking and getting car accidents, and it was bad. Like they had a lot of parties. I remember like I was probably in 9th grade, and her and a couple friends, I don't know if I should say names. I'll say names. Rob Baker, he was in her grade. He used to like cut people's hair. And so one day we're like all hanging out, and he's cutting someone's hair, and he picked up like the hair trimmings and actually glued it onto his face. Then we drove to Ambler Beverage. Remember you could drive
Butler
through
Pike,
them?
yeah, the drive-through, yeah.
And he actually got served beer. Like with us, with his like glued on hair trimmings, and he did put on like a cowboy hat, but yet he had like a car full of other like young kids, and we're like me, I'm in the backseat giggling, like I can't believe this is happening. But I remember there was a lot of drinking and partying going on with them, and one time they had like a big meeting for like all the parents to come, and someone got caught. Like photos were taken, and like the mom found them and brought it to the school's attention about like all the drinking and stuff that was happening. So my mom went to the school for like a meeting, and the whole entire time she's like, they're thinking that they're going to see pictures of like my sister and everything. And it's actually like, there's pictures of me there.
Oh.
Yeah. And like I said, I wasn't even really a drinker or anything.
But you were just
I would
in the
smoke
crew.
weed, but it wasn't even like the group of people that was getting in trouble for drinking. It was like me with my ex-boyfriend, or, you know, Cheech, him at the time, with like some firefighters, because they were all like the blue light squad or whatever they're called. And like the Swillows, Doug Swillow, Kevin Swillow.
That name's super familiar, but
they were like super athletic. You know, I think there was a threesome of boys. They were older than us, but like they were all there. And it's like randomly, of course, the one party that I went to, well, I went to a couple, but it was even like older than my sister's grade. And my mom's like, shit. And there's a picture of Kim. Like,
that's so weird.
But like it was just random.
But you know, that's something I think about a lot when I watch like TV shows about like true crime, or you watch like Law and Order SVU, and so many times it starts with kids at a party, and all the kid, like a bunch of kids, are Instagramming or Snapchat or whatever, like the rip-off TV show version of it, Quick Watch or whatever, and they're all putting it on the internet. I'm thinking like, wow, that was something that we didn't have at all.
Thank God.
You had to be kind of like, stupid to get caught in that with pictures back in the 90s.
I know. But yeah, could you imagine?
Also, though,
I never really did anything stupid. Well, I did stupid shit, but never like anything. It's like I was a period of time that was hanging out with Taki, Jean, Fran, my ex-boyfriend Cheech. And we went up to a party at like Tara Cooper Smith's house, and they wouldn't let us in. And, you know, like a week or so later, I got into an argument with Fran, and he was like, they wouldn't let us in because of you. And I was like, like, what the fuck did I do? But then again, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
We pretty much like, we're going to go to the party and probably drink and like probably stand in our own little corner, like giggling at how stoned we were. I don't know.
Now, shit like that just roll off your back when you don't like get into a party or.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even like whatever. You don't even care. No, I feel like I was too sensitive to even handle. Like I feel like I would be so sad about that.
I mean, there's probably times I was. I don't know, but I think I was just always stoned. Like, I was just kind of like, where's weed?
Do you feel like you missed out like on stuff by being stoned in high school?
Yeah, there's certain things. Like I said, but yeah, like I would have definitely stuck with sports a little bit more. Or like I was telling you, like I was in like CP classes, but then started to just get stoned. I got lazy. I didn't apply myself. So then I like dropped down to lower classes. Like I said, we were signing checks. And
yeah, you were telling me that.
It really wasn't even like anything. And I remember sitting there going like, this shit's easy.
Yeah, so they were teaching like banking.
Yeah.
Like
life
skills.
9th grade math. I was like, okay. Yeah. Like, I mean, life
but
skills. And then I started going to tech school, which I love tech school. And then I started hanging out with like tech school kids. But I love tech school. I thought that was freaking smart. And I almost wish that they would mix like AP classes with tech school. Because people should learn a fucking trade.
What'd you learn at tech school?
I went for graphic design. I did that for a little bit. And then like the last year I switched to health occupations.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about going to dental. Hygiene. Yeah.
Do you feel like you like learned, like did you really, and even though it's not what you went into, you did it for a little bit for college with dental hygiene, but do you feel like you actually learned more, or you actually learned like a skill set that you're able to take through life going to tech school? I've had some conversations with some different people, Danielle Cataldi being the main one, where we talked a little bit about
culinary. She was in culinary.
But her brother went to tech school. And one of the things that I talked about was, because a lot of my friends went to tech school, was that tech school was kind of looked at as like the dumb kid school, because you got to leave halfway through the day, and everyone just figured that they just want to leave. They want to leave and not have to take math.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like Daniel Cataldi's brother has been working since he was like 17 in a legit trade, and he's doing well for himself. You know, I have other friends that
especially if he's in a union.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not like, I mean, he's way past journeyman already and like well into his 30s. Like, yeah, he's making good money.
And when you look at like the nowadays where they say like, hey, you know, one of the things that a lot of these presidential candidates talk about is like, college isn't always like, we need vocational. We need people to learn skills. We need people to learn how to build shit, how to make shit. and they want to put as much emphasis. They don't want kids to feel like you have to go to a 4-year college. You can go to a place and learn a skill and be ready to work right away.
Right. I think that's the best part about that kind of stuff.
Did you feel that though back then? Like, did you feel
I
like
always
it was
worked? What do you mean? Like,
I mean, when you were going to tech school, like, did you feel like that's what you were preparing for a job, or were you just trying to get out of actual regular school?
No, I think it was more of like heading towards a direction already. You know, it's because like also like if I were to go away to college, like I don't know what I would really want to go to study for. At least like tech school, like I knew that I was going to get a job. I've been working. I do well. You know, I've accomplished a good amount from already just like jumping in there. I went to Monco. I don't have any like student loans or anything.
Right.
And
well, that's the other thing with everyone, with the debt that everyone's in. And you go, why would you force people to go into so much debt when you could learn something in a different type of school and start making that money? I
mean, that's it. Like, I remember reading something one time from this kid that was in construction. I think he was like 25. And he didn't go away to college because he decided he was just going to go straight into construction because it was like, he was 18. He was like getting offered already to make like $20 an hour. And he's like, and where does that happen? So I started working, and the next thing I'm doing this, and people would always be like, you're dumb. You should go to away to school. And, you know, you're not getting the experience, or, you know, whatever, this pathway's wrong, blah. And he was like, but look, here I am making, you know, over $100,000 a year. I'm young. He's like, I've told a couple friends that after they graduated from school, like, come, you should work in construction. They're like, no, why would I do that, man? Like, what am I going to do with my education? But yet they're not even working with anything and making, or, you know, towards their education. They're not making, like, they should just do that. And I feel like those blue collar workers, though, end up being like some of the happiest of people.
But in high school, it's all about image, and I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that. And especially in the 90s when you were supposed to go to quote unquote college. Yeah. It was all about image, and, you know, I'm going to Duke, I'm going to Yale, or I'm going to NYU.
I brought in my yearbook.
No.
I brought the
So Kim brought like all the goods here. She brought like she brought 4 different yearbooks.
The newspaper, Future Plans of Class.
God. I probably have undecided in mind.
I probably have undecided.
We talked about this last night where I just said like I was somewhat like I hated the idea of people signing your yearbook and then they're asking you like, hey, where are you going? And like I had no idea what I was doing. I guess I knew I was going to Monco, and I was like, I don't know yet. So people in your yearbook, they write, hey, good luck doing whatever you're going to do. Or
I mean,
you seem like you did not have so many things that we've talked about just over the past, you know, little bit of time. You just seem like you had no hangups or care. It didn't enter your mind. It didn't bother you. You just seemed so much more secure than I was.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like at this point in my life, I accept it. That's what it is. Back then, like when I think about it, yeah, of course I had hangouts. We all did. Like,
but you don't like. You're just like did you want to get to a certain, like, I don't know, whatever. Like you didn't seem to have like a. I don't know. Maybe I had like a preconceived notion of myself that I felt like I had to live up to, or I had to do like. And I don't know, you just didn't seem to have any type of angst about what your future was supposed to be, or were you doing the right thing, or other than really, I mean, you talked yesterday about like missing out on that opportunity to go to college and live in a dorm.
Yeah, that.
But you didn't really say that was something then you were missing out on. It's just something that later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just feel like internally, I was always battling like shit like that. Of
what are you gonna do next? What are you gonna do next?
Yeah, or am I doing what is perceived to be worthy of me, or what people are expecting, or grandiose, or when I
don't know. I think I gave up on that pretty early. Like, you guys are lucky that I graduated, right? Like, I did it, but like I said not long ago, I wish I would have definitely applied myself more, because why not? Like, when you think it's like, I kind of took the easy way out, and I did. It's like
we both worked in food service for a while, for a long time. How long did you work at? You worked at Giuseppe's. How long were you there?
forever. But before there, I worked at Pandeli's. Same Pandeli's. I worked there for a while until it caught fire.
Okay.
That was fun. And, you know, like I think about Pandeli's too. Like how I started working there was from Stephanie Boyd. She was older than us. She was working there, and then she was the one who's like, oh, they're looking for a hostess. And that's when I, you know, showed up looking for a hostess job. But I hung out with her for a period of time too, because we worked together. And then I worked at the Ice Princess that was right next to Giuseppe's for
the water ice spot
for a few summers. And I made some good friends there. I worked there with George Cortez for a period of time, and he covered my ass once.
Really?
Like, I had gotten in trouble, and I went, like, I knew, like, if I went home, I was going to just, like, I knew I was going to fucking hear it. So I went to work. And then all of a sudden, like, I see or like I hear my dad's car like squealing up the road, like hopping curbs because he's fucking maniac. Like when he's angry, like it's just fucking tunnel vision, like running down just the sidewalk in his car. And I see him, and I to George real fast. I'm like, I am not here. Whatever happens, I am not here. And he's like, all right. George had like tell my dad that I wasn't there. And he's like, but Kim's supposed to be working. And George was like, I don't know. She's not here. I'm in the bathroom curled into like fetal position hiding from my dad. And then after he left, like George waited a little bit and Kim got me. He's like, you're in some shit. I'm like, I know. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of memories are from work or.
You were kind of, it seems like you were living like a semi-adult life as a teenager.
Probably.
You had like an older boyfriend, older friends. Your solid crew maybe included people from high school, but mainly focused around who you were working with. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just a very
just different people came in randomly, or like tech school. Like they were fun, just because we were all bad in some sort of way. Like we were just kind of like, fuck you, Wiesman, Troutman, Aziza. I definitely miss Troutman. I don't know. He was just always like, I think I always had a crush on Troutman.
Brad Troutman.
We should see if he's like hearted in my book.
Take it off.
I don't know what year. When I looked earlier, there was like, remember we said something about J.C. Whitaker?
Mm-hmm.
I think Pete Whitaker's got a heart on mine. But like.
Something I want to ask you, because we were talking about it earlier about like sex in school.
Oh, yeah.
And a common theme for me is that because I didn't like date at all in high school or anything, and I would just hear about, you know, parties and this happened and that happened. I always felt like our school was kind of over sexualized. In my head at 15, 16, 17, it felt like just orgy and like, oh, these people were together, so these people had sex. And I don't know if any of that was true.
Yeah, I just don't remember any of that. I think I was just having sex.
Yeah.
And like a constant
with your
sex.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know, because it seems like you didn't interact primarily with people from school, but being that you were dating someone older and then as he graduated and you're still in school, is that like...
I mean, there was flirtatious moments between boys.
Yeah. But you weren't like, you didn't feel like drawn into like that world, I guess.
Nah. No. I don't think so.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Like I said, I was having good sex already on a constant. But like I said, I felt like maybe I felt as if people thought of me as like having sex with different people.
Mm-hmm. Is that because you would hear stuff, or you just thought people were looking at you thinking that?
Probably a little bit of both. I probably heard stuff from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I don't know. I think back to it, and it was such a different time, especially now with like the Me Too and all that. And you just have to treat women so differently. And I feel like back then, man, that wasn't
I'm not going to hate the boys that would walk by and smack my butt.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, there's times that like certain things had happened. I don't know. Like we're all going through puberty and like... sex is like, you know,
but we all express it differently.
I know, but I wouldn't mind
or maybe in my case suppressing it. I grew up, I think, watching that happen in the halls and thinking, oh, that's what women want. But I didn't do that. I didn't have the balls to do that sort of thing. I wouldn't really
say it happened to me that much, but every once in a while, yeah, sure. Of course, I would smile.
Yeah. Now, see, that's the type of stuff that like you would like like people would like shriek at nowadays in
I know.
modern
I
times.
think even if I don't know, I'd probably smile to it too. I don't know. I don't hate all of it. I can understand like there's points where it just totally crosses the line and it's just like, all right, like that is too much. But like a quick full little whoop.
Yeah, you like that.
Walking by someone, yeah, it's a little flirtatious. You know, perfect date is when they open the door for you and then squeeze your butt as you're walking by.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. It's like the relationship that you need.
I'll write down
a man
these
that
moves, put in my repertoire here.
The type of guy that'll pull the door open for you, so you go in first. And as you're going in first, he squeezes your butt.
Okay.
Sold. Come on, you got it both right there. You got the man, the gentleman. You know, it's gotta be like fun.
Did you have a favorite teacher
In what?
in high school?
I like Mr. Russo just because he would, rip up my slips when I was bad.
And you knew him from middle school wrestling.
Yeah. And then Mrs. Rice.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her. I think that's about it.
You mentioned going into like special ed classes.
It wasn't special ed.
What's the term?
It wasn't special ed. Like special ed is like.
Let's put it out there, okay? They called it SPED.
Yeah, like.
And that means special ed. It had a negative connotation. Again, shit that you can't get away with nowadays.
It was like above SPED.
Oh, so there was a special education. I don't even want to call it SPED. I don't even feel right calling it SPED, but I feel like we have to be honest about what the perception was.
Look, I can open up this book and be like, they were in SPED class.
But so what was?
But it didn't happen until high school. Like I said, I just kind of like.
But what do you consider that
So
class?
what's after CP? I mean, it's like what, college prep, and then you got your other things. What's before college prep?
I don't know.
That's what it is. It's that level between college prep and McDonald's. I don't know.
Did you ever come out of that, or did you stay through that all through high school?
No, I came out of it. Like, I built back up, but then I was like more in the tech school, so it was just kind of like,
So school was just never. It seems like academically, it's just interesting because for me it was. Like I said, I felt pressure, and I didn't go away to college right away. I went to Montco before I transferred to Temple, and even that's not really going away. But when I ask you like those questions about like, did you have any angst or whatever, and then like when I hear you say that you didn't really care, you even like kind of stayed in that level because you saw how easy it was, and then
easy. I was more focused on just like working and
it really seems like school from an educational standpoint was not, and not that it was like but I felt a pressure to have to
do well,
at least at the end, at least to be able to like I have to get
the only time I ever made honor roll was my very last report card.
I think I might have. I think that might have been mine as
well.
It's
like the only time.
You want to brag about it? All you're doing is watching movies.
No, I think I had to like make sure I actually got everything done. There was like 2 years I went to summer school, 8th grade. I don't know why I went to summer school in 8th grade, but I did. And then 9th grade, and then like somebody was like, "Yo, if you don't like school that much, like, why don't you just like get through it?" And just
take your GED.
No, just like do decent enough to graduate instead of like, if you don't like it, you don't like going and everything. Like then you're just going to be at school throughout the summer. And it's like, you don't like it. So it's just like, just go, just get it done. Go,
Don't stress it. Just do what you have to do. And
like I just didn't, like I said, I hung out with like a lot of older people, and after they left, and I felt like there was this period where I just, Did I belong in anything? I don't know.
Did any of those older people?
Like a tech school kid.
Did any of those older people from your group go to college, or were they all just hanging around and working?
Some of them probably went to college, but I think the majority worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious in that mindset because I'm not. I mean, I guess I know people like that, but I've never had a conversation with someone who just didn't care about grades. I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like that, one, it feels free, but at the same time I wonder like, yeah, what the fuck was I so stressed? You know what I mean? It's just this, because it's not like I achieved some extreme academic, great achievement. Like none of that happened. So at the same, what was I so stressed about? But you made it, I made it, and here we are, basically like same. You know what I mean? Like how ridiculous that just seems to me now. And I just go, wow, fuck, she didn't even care. It didn't like it didn't even matter at the end of the day.
No,
Thanks.
Sorry, it didn't matter.
So, but you have kids now. Do you feel the same way?
No,
like just get
I
through
definitely
it?
tell them that they want to like do better than what I did. Like I understand. Like who knows what the future really holds for them and their graduating classes, 25 and 30 or whatever it is. Like everyone's making money doing other shit than going to school. So like, you know, which way do you go? And that's why I was saying like I almost wish you could have like those honors classes and still be able to go to tech school or something, or like do something where you are learning more of a trade. Because they say like millennials don't know how to write a check. Maybe they should have taken that class instead of that honors class.
Can I tell you, I don't. So
They're like the smartest people, but yet like don't know basic life skills.
For the last like 15 years, I still write checks mainly for like for rent because my landlord doesn't have like an online hookup. But
also,
it's a thing that like I love. I mean, I stopped doing it because it takes so much time, but I used to love legit writing out like checks for bills and walking to the post office. And like that would be my Saturday morning. Like I make a little cocktail, a little breakfast cocktail, write out my checks, head on out with some earbuds in and like go to the post office, wait in line for 10 minutes. Cause I don't have like own stamps. Now I got some, but like I wouldn't own stamps. And so I'd have to go and legit just get like 4 stamps and then just send them out. And I would love to do that every 2 to 3 weeks. But nobody sends checks. Like it's not really a thing anymore. So I get that when you say that people don't even know how to.
Yeah.
They know how to put their credit card into an app.
Right. I know. I just think things that you should know how to do. I don't know.
Life skills.
Life skills, but people are slacking them, unfortunately. But no, I definitely I have tattoos. I remember when my kids are younger and you're just, they're just so innocent. And you're like, oh, they're never going to get a tattoo. Look at them. Like, never get a tattoo. And now, like, they're starting to get older. I'm kind of like,
Do you regret your tattoos?
No.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
You just said
that.
No,
I just think, like, when I'm looking at my child being still very innocent and pure, it's like, look at their perfect little skin and their perfect, it's like a baby. There's, like, from a baby, you want everything to just remain perfect, just like that thing. And then they, there's a period of time where you're like, oh, I hope they don't do that. And then there's other times where you're like, I don't care if my kids, however they want to look, they can look. I don't care.
What's up with your tattoos?
Oh, which ones?
Oh, do they have like meaning or you're like
somewhat?
They're big.
Yeah, I have larger scale ones.
Yeah,
I guess.
So that usually requires. It's more than just like, oh, I was drunk and one night and I got this on my arm. Like you've got like obviously like some sort of a
little bit more thought out process.
Design and multiple visits.
Yeah.
So like, did they have meaning to you or?
I mean, I guess they all kind of do in some way. Like I can reference it. Yeah, so I can reference all of them. But in the end, I like it because I think it's pretty.
There you go. Yeah, it is.
So I remember in like 6th grade, was it 6th or 7th grade? I think like my first boyfriend was Chris Salviti.
Oh, that name's real familiar, but I don't know.
What are we looking for in the middle school?
Nothing. It's called We Weren't Friends in High School.
Oh, fuck, high school. All right. But I think like my middle school leads up to, like I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that like Brooke Johnson and I were good friends. And then by the time we got to high school, we didn't talk. Like I said, Carolyn Rossler, her and I were good friends. And then like high school just kind of like simmered out.
Is that because you stopped doing sports and you were smoking weed?
Probably. But also like different
groups.
Cliques. Like, I mean, through like 9th grade, I, still played sports. by 10th grade though. Like I remember like we were summertime tryouts and everything, and like you had to be there all throughout the day, and then you were allowed to like go home for an hour or two and had to come back at night and do more stuff. And like by that time, like I was working. So I was kind of like, well, I enjoy working. Like I like being productive and busy and making money.
Since you were still in, I mean, you didn't start doing tech school till later, but so then
10th.
So then maybe that
10th.
answers. So you started leaving. I was gonna say, where did you eat lunch if all your friends were older? Who did you actually eat lunch with in high school?
In 9th grade, I sat with like the Italians, like Anthony DeCunto, Francesco Sorreo, Cheech Gigliotti.
So the ones that were still
Taki
in school
from there was still like. Yeah.
But then, like once they all graduate the next year, then what? But by that point,
and then
were you just
I
going
sat
to tech
at
school?
like the next tech school table, like Sarah Militello.
Oh, you ate lunch at tech school?
No, there was like I felt like the tech school kids all kind of like sat
together, like
in the first couple tables that were closest to like the food line, but then also where we could leave to go just straight out to the tech bus. Yeah, because then like those kids would leave, and then I was like the younger one that hung out there, and I would just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I guess I gotta go find someone else to sit with.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it would have been at that time afterwards.
Did you feel like you were in like an Italian crew? Like you mentioned a couple times, like the Italian crew and like for lunch, but it doesn't seem like you were doing that on purpose.
I think like they're just no. I felt like my crew for a longest time, like
mixed.
Yeah, it was just like the girl I think I hung out with mostly in 9th grade was Elena Kanunchuk. And
not Italian.
No, not Italian. Of course, like I just feel like Maria Gigliotti and Lisa Davoli and Danielle Tumalo, like we were always friends. I don't know. I remember people and I remember small experiences with people, but like truthfully, always hanging out like Jason Herb. I said certain things. Amy Jowow, how you say her? Jaskowiak. I remember her. We played field hockey, and one of my favorite memories of her from field hockey was like we're all sitting around doing stretches. I think we were at Keith Valley Middle School. We were stretching, and there was a nasty smell from like the manure or whatever. And she's like, "It's mulch." I don't know. It was just funny how it happened, and that's what I remember about her from high school.
What I remember about her is that her boyfriend's name was Zach Morris.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you have a favorite memory with a person? Any person. Doesn't have to be like just like I remember this from high school with this person, and it was great. Like
during school, like in school.
Yeah, a memory, a memory from school that you look as like a great memory.
No, I would have to really think about that. There's nothing that pops in my head. Nah, I think I love tech school bus. I just liked always being on the bus and crazy shit I need to talk about or do.
Social.
Just sitting there.
School seemed like it was social
around.
for you.
Just like, oh.
See, that's
like I don't really think like I said, I wish I would have applied myself a little bit more. Who would have known the direction that I would have taken? Because like I'm a hard worker. I really do enjoy working. Yeah, it was just kind of like being there. Like I did not care about the academics whatsoever. Like I said, I just kind of like dumbed it down so it was easier, and then I just focused on other things like, like I said, working, tech, people.
Yeah.
I remember being in the hallways. I don't know. Like, there's not something where I'm like, that was such an awesome moment.
Yeah.
Between everyone. And then we all start singing and dancing like they do in all those Not Another Teen movies. No, I don't know.
It doesn't have to be a fun memory that I have is I didn't share a locker, but I had, it was given to me. Ryan Conway gave me his locker combination. And we were like maybe 2 lockers apart from each other. And we formed the Pop-Tart Club. And we would just stock his locker with like Pop-Tarts every week.
That's cool.
And I would pop into his locker, grab a thing of Pop-Tarts, close it up and like roll into class like without them. And like that was just like a thing that we would just do. Like that's random fun. And
that's
Ryan
fun.
and I weren't like really like friends like that, but we, you know.
No, I don't even think I ever went to my locker. I think I just
said that yesterday.
A school bag with whatever in it. I did have a locker. I remember like sometimes I'd be like, all right, we're gonna start out doing
high
this.
school
But
really
I don't
was
think
just social for you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, I don't know, you don't seem like a person to regret stuff, but you said you wish maybe you'd done it a little bit different.
Yeah, I wish I would like probably.
Do you look at it as like,
I don't think I ever.
It was a waste.
I
or
think
you
I
blew
always
it,
like
or...
I was who I was. I don't know. Like I never really like overly tried to fit in where I didn't fit in. Like I said, I just kind of like bopped around and.
You didn't look at it as like you're being like you are cool or you're being super social or
like,
you're in the middle of
felt
hot.
like I said, like I was like just in the middle.
Yeah.
Like a loner. Like
you
I don't
say
mind.
that, but I don't see him as just from everything.
Like I'm not like a loner where
loner.
loners like go and do everything happily by themselves.
Yeah, there were real loners like that.
Like yeah, there are, but like
independent might be what you're.
Yeah, I'm probably
thinker.
more independent. Where it's like if I know like I'm in a rut and I need to like change something, then I'll just like decide to change it and start doing it. I don't know, like I'm not afraid to like go and join a club by myself because it's something that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like just kind of like nosy my way and all of a sudden it's kind of like I feel like I've known Kim forever. I feel like I always get that. I feel like I've known Kim forever, but it's just kind of like I'm just kind of like one of those people that are there. You know, like I'm always there like to smile and laugh and kind of like, but I'm kind of like there.
Yeah.
And like if I'm not there, then we're kind of like, just like, oh, Kim's there. Yeah, I don't know. Like I just felt like I was there. That's it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm wondering if how many more people, if like anyone else has that. I don't know. I think it's healthy. I think it's you know, I'm asking like kind of the same question 9 different ways every time, but like I'm just curious at you know different aspects of it and how you look at it because I think it's extremely healthy, and so I'm curious if you know I will be curious to see if other people have similar viewpoints.
Yeah, I think I just remember fucking around so much more than ever really worrying about
school, future, perception.
Yeah. Like I remember like social studies class. Like I remember every time, and this actually carried all the way into like college too. Like anytime I have to sit in like any type of social studies class, history class, like I cannot stay the fuck awake. It's like a lullaby. Them talking about dates and names and all this whatever. Mm-hmm. As soon as it all starts, I'm just kind of like,
so you fall asleep in class.
Nodding. Yeah, that's why I had such a low grade in Mr. Foch's class. Mm-hmm. I had to take Western civilization 3 times in college.
Jeez.
Like I fucked up all the time. But like Kim, just get it together. But I cannot stay awake.
Those classes are the worst, though. They're boring as hell.
Yeah, but like some people really love history and like can remember all that stuff. I can't. Like
I wish I knew it now, especially like I don't know if you're like political at all, but like nowadays when people argue about shit on Facebook or even face to face, like I feel like you got to know your shit. And I wish I knew a little bit more about. I'm
not a quick tongue.
Yeah, I wish
the only rapper I can rap with is Mace, and I can barely keep up. But yeah, like things I don't like to really talk about that much are politics.
Who'd you vote for?
Or
okay, who are you voting for?
No. Like financial shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care how much you make. Whatever. Go ahead. Like you could be making this much, but we could still be like, I still got better credit and have more of this than you do, and you still make that much more. Like I don't know. We're just different.
I like to know people's point of views or people's experiences with those things. You know, I like to know if people are comfortable talking about politics. I like to know, you know, what their opinion is and why in a non-accusatory way. Like, you're a Republican? What the fuck's wrong? No, I'd rather just let them tell me.
My thing about it is it's just everywhere all the time. I have the idea of what I have in my head. Mm-hmm. And just like, if everyone's talking about it, I don't want nothing to do with it. Game of Thrones. I will watch that in maybe 5 years. All right, when it's all simmered down, I'll be like, all right, I'll check it out now.
I'm gonna hammer you a little on this point, only because we've been talking now, so I feel like I can be a little devil's advocate-y with you about that, just because I am curious of your point of view on something like that. But so like when elections come around, do you feel like you know what it is you're voting? First of all, do you vote? Is that something you do? Vote. Do you feel like that's something? Do you feel like you're equipped with knowledge, or?
I told you I'm not. No. Like if you gotta hit me with like hard facts on the spot.
So you said you kind of like know what you know, or you believe what you believe. Like, what is that based on? And then again, I'm not saying this in like I'm just asking because I'm curious about your point of view.
Maybe like the way I grew up.
Okay. And then how do you know when you're voting that you're voting for someone that agrees with that?
You don't fucking know. Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Politicians?
They know at least what the politicians are saying.
Yeah.
But if you're when you
say anything that they want to say, all of them, they're all just like, I hate it. It's just all the time, and I hate when I want to be entertained and it's a political thing. Like, shut up. Like, I get it, but
you burn
not
out
during entertainment times. Like, I don't know. I just want to laugh. I don't want to hear all these things.
I think. See, that's I guess my difference is I think politics can be entertaining if you're not mean about it. Like, I feel like you can have a good conversation about what do you believe, what do I believe, and it can be a great hour-long conversation, and you have fun with it, and no one comes away feeling bored or mad about it.
Right.
Either way, those are usually the two extremes. You're boring the shit out of me, or you're being rude, and I don't want to tell you my point of view anymore. Right.
I just think.
But the thing that when you say that, like, you're just like the thing that kind of like, I don't know. This sounds negative, but irks me, and I don't mean you're irking me, but the thing that always like kind of raised me is when people say that they're just not. They don't care about it, or like they hate when people talk about it.
I care.
I don't mean not care, but when you say like you hate when everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, like I just don't always want it to be a topic in my ear all the time. Like there's other things. I don't know. So like, I don't know. Somehow we go on like this political topic when we're supposed to be talking about high school. But like where I grew up and everything, I always thought like maybe we were like not fortunate enough, or wherever, because where we lived, how we lived. As one man told me one time when he came into Giuseppe's, which I forget his name, but I think it's Brianna's dad. I forget his name. I feel so bad. He was like, your dad's a collector. And like after he said that, I was like looked down, like, what the fuck do you mean? And then like after that, I was like, oh yeah.
Like bill collector?
Hoarder. You're a fucking hoarder.
Oh.
So it's just like, I don't know, like this collected shit, and it was just like dumpy and never fixed up. But like my sisters and I, we were in like everything. So we like did all the sports, like
you weren't deprived, right?
Yeah, we did all the sports. We were all in band. We all did something else, like, and you know how expensive that shit is? And for 4 of us to do it, and like 3 of us to be like back to back, constantly like doing all of it and everything, getting here, getting there. I mean, we did walk everywhere.
But with like athletics, you need to have uniforms and equipment and
the music. You had
and
to like
change
rent
sizes
or
every year. You
buy
can't just reuse the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hand-me-downs, but like now, like I have 2 boys that are 4 years apart. And like sports have been a little different. Like at first we were all gung-ho with my oldest one, like we could do everything, and then you realize like shit, it's expensive, and like you're constantly going here and there, and like overlapping this and that, and then when you start adding on the other one, and it's like practices are split and they're all going different ways and stuff, like it's expensive. And I think like we weren't as bad off as what I thought I was. It's just that, like, we were in so much that, like, I mean, it was a little spread thin, and things didn't get done around the house, which I totally get because you're out doing other things and living life and stuff like that. I think, like, my home life, kind of like, where it's like my younger sister, she didn't give a shit. Anybody would be over all the time. And then like with me, I never really invited friends over to my house. Only a few people would come into my house, but Max would live behind me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. Like, yeah, I mean, you obviously follow on Instagram, probably. Just like
I don't think I do. I think I follow him on Facebook, but
like his posts are great. He's always like, yeah, getting it in. What are you doing? Should be up and working. You know, like he's exactly the same. He's cool. It wasn't like a bad, totally horrible thing living there. I mean, there was things like all other parts of Ambler have, you know, like once you find a crack vial here and there.
I don't
stuff.
think that was.
You know
everywhere.
what? Now you're finding like needles everywhere.
I don't think that was everywhere though.
No,
Like
I said
feel like
certain parts.
I feel
Not
it was
all,
just. I feel like it was just
end.
just our neighborhoods, West and South Ambler.
Mm-hmm.
I remember moving to South Ambler when I was 5, and my parents taking me outside and like pointing to the ground. You could see the capsules and the beer bottles, the broken beer bottles, and they would say like, "See these? Never touch any of these when you're out here." And yeah, there was like a corner house where everyone used to hang out and drink and smoke all day long and all night long, and like that would be the thing like that my parents would always point to and say, "See, you don't end up there. Don't be one of those guys. Don't end up at that. You know, don't end up 20 years later still on this corner here." And then when my parents got divorced, we moved. But I definitely at the time, like you, felt like I lived like in the ghetto, in the hood. I
mean, it's like the lower end part. Yeah. But that's like the weird thing about Wissahickon. Like other schools have like, you know, this divide as well. But Wissahickon definitely has like some of the wealthiest of the, you know, wealthy in the area. And like if you're not going to like a private school or something, you know, if you stay in public school, because Wissahickon is a really good school. But like you do have a lot of very wealthy students, and then you got the other ones that are just poor.
Yeah.
And like that's the ones that only had one bus stop.
Yeah.
They're low. Like it's kind of crazy to think about that. There's such a big financial difference.
Yeah. Montgomery County is one of the wealthiest counties in Pennsylvania, maybe the wealthiest. And yeah, from when you see like, you know, we went to school with kids who lived in country clubs, legit lived in country clubs.
Yeah.
And when everyone, I remember, man, when it was hard for me when everyone started getting their license and cars, and I was like you got yours at 18. I think I got mine at 17. And I remember I bought my first car with money that I got from my aunt and uncle. And it was like a 87 Honda Accord. And I worked, but I didn't know anything really about saving. And all the money I made just like basically went to like eating junk food. Yeah. And
movies. Wherever the rotation went.
Mm-hmm. And I remember like seeing kids like pull in like these SUVs and with these giant speakers and Jeeps and I remember I wanted an SUV so bad. And
everyone wanted a Blazer.
Trail Blazers and the Chevy Blazers and I remember, man, they were just, it was hard. I was just like, man, how is this, you know, Mercedes and BMWs and
I remember just thinking like, damn, that's the stupidest thing ever that you got like a brand new Mercedes. Like, to me, in my mind, I'm like, it's so stupid. Like, you're gonna bang that shit up, and it's all brand new and everything. Like, why? Like, why you need anything? Yeah, I guess. Like, you see how I'm like so afraid to like ruin, rims, scrape my rims. Like, I don't like it. And, like, other people just don't give a shit. But like for driving, I had a boyfriend that drove, and I could walk anywhere I needed to walk, because from school into town, like friends' houses, like I could walk if I really needed to. And then I had like my boyfriend, and then just other random people were driving. And the only reason really I got my driver's license is because after I graduated, we had moved to Plymouth meeting area. Right. And then I couldn't like walk, so I was like, I guess I gotta get my license. But if I stayed in Ambler, I probably would have like waited even longer to get my license.
Wow.
Yeah, that didn't bother me either.
No, of course not.
I know.
Nothing bothered you.
Like, I just thought it was dumb. Like, But yeah, it would have been cool to have a Trailblazer.
Chrissy Benedict had a Blazer.
Yeah, and then Brad went and got a matching one. Remember that?
That's cute.
I know, it's cute. Like I remember a couple fights that happened like in the parking lot, but also I was hanging out with older kids. Like I don't know, like walking the halls in high school. I just kind of always felt like, I don't know. Like, do I fit in? I don't know if I fit in. Like, I really can't wait till I can go here and like, you know, where.
Did you think that? Did you wonder about that?
Yeah, I think we all do. Like, I think to this day, I still don't think I fit in.
With whom?
Anything. I really don't.
But you don't like, it's not something you look to, it's not something you think needs fixing or.
No. Like, there's times where I get like upset about it and I'll like dwell on it where I start going like, you know, I'm not athletic enough to hang with all the athletes. I'm not healthy enough to hang out with the athletes that are really healthy. I'm everything in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not like punk rock enough to hang out with the punks. I don't know. I'm not city enough. I'm not like, I don't know, whatever enough. I'm not this enough. Like, I don't care if I'm popular. Really, like, everybody knowing so much about you is not really my thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like I'm never really like fit a niche. Like I could fit someplace for everyone where like I don't know where like I fully belong.
Mm-hmm.
To this day. I think I've always kind of like, that's why I said like, I don't know, I guess independent wanderer, not a loner. Yeah. I just feel like, yeah.
But you know, you bounced around, and so there probably wasn't one specific way that you needed to be because you had a lot of different environments.
True.
It seems like through all that, they accepted you as you. You didn't have to, oh, this is how I act when I'm with these guys, or this is how I act when I'm with these people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like I felt when I look back, I feel socially like I was socially immature. That if I was hanging out, you know, with Eric or Gene or whatever,
you
like,
would feel like you would say something dumb and they all look at you like,
Corbett. Yeah, like Corbett, shut the fuck up, Corbett. Or like, you know, I was hanging out watching basketball, eating buffalo wings on Friday. So like, you know, hey, we're gonna go hang out with these girls, or we're gonna go get high, or we're gonna go drink, or we're gonna like, I would, I don't, you know, like I don't know how I would have, even like I was smoking cigarettes, like none of that stuff was anything in my. I remember like trying to lie about smoking cigarettes, and Brian Keenan says, "Let me smell your fingers," you know? Which in high school, you know, you never know, but yeah, let me smell your fingers. And I don't think I even knew what that meant. And I give him my hand. He's like, "You don't smoke cigarettes." I'm like, "Oh, I do."
That's
like
funny.
He's not gonna know. I'm like, "Oh, I just washed my hands." He's like, "It would still smell, dude." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't." But just stuff like, you know, because I thought I had to say that I smoke, and you know, like I remember hanging out with Brandon Marcraft and going to like a Halloween party, and they were partying, and I didn't party at all, and so I'm just like, I legit just have candy. And I remember like the party got busted, and the dad comes downstairs and he's like, "What's going on here?" And then he like looks at me, his big black kid, and I got this bulge in my hoodie. And he's like, "What do you have in there?" And it's like literally a bag of candy. Like that was that, you know what I mean? Like that was I wasn't in that mindset of like doing anything that I think kids in that age start to do.
Yeah. I mean, but how old do you think you were? Like 15?
Well, I was 15, 16, 17, 18, all during that time.
Oh, I mean, but you said like the party that you were at where.
Oh, for that one? Yeah, I feel like we weren't driving, so we were probably 15, 16 because we got picked up by Brandon's dad.
Yeah, like.
But I stayed like that is legit. Like, I mean, senior year in high school was, you know, wings to go and basketball on Friday nights with Scott Ritter. Like I remember the first night I like actually drank, and it was like I drank a little bit. I was not into it, and I was like, I guess this is it. Yeah, like it wasn't anything I kept trying or.
I don't think I ever really got drunk. Like I remember hearing about parties with certain people, like always getting drunk and like wasted and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think I was ever like, if I probably went to a party, I have like a beer or so. But I think
You were stoner instead.
Yeah, steady. Listening to Bob Marley.
Did you ever go smoke in the woods back behind the school? Class of 2001. What's that, the program?
Program.
You're quite the reminiscer. Where's your podcast?
My podcast would consist of like fart noises and like
there's a market for that.
Noise, shrugs that you can't really
shrugs
hear.
And silent smiles.
Yeah.
There's a market.
This is funny. Like, look, I got like a little personal directory right now. Francesco Santos' telephone number, Jackie Turner's, Michelle. I don't know which Michelle. Simone, Elisa, Taki. And then my favorite thing that's on the back is like Mike DeMott's pager. Fuck yeah. Like Mike he was cool. Remember I told you during graduation, DeMott and I were like next to each other and he was telling me the whole entire time that my family didn't come and it started to make me cry. Mm-hmm. And I think I remember like afterwards, like hearing that people thought that Cheech proposed to me after graduation because they saw me crying. But it was because he got in my head that no one came for me.
So that right there.
And then I remember people thinking like we got engaged. No, we didn't get engaged.
That
right I felt like I lost my identity.
Is like.
And I no longer had an identity.
That is high school, like how high school rumors exactly happen.
Yeah.
That is exactly how like TMZ shit goes down. Someone sees some shit.
Yeah.
They make up a story of how this could have happened.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're getting proposed to. Meanwhile, some kid just made a smart ass comment as you're about to receive your diploma and you're feeling fucking alone on what should be the greatest accomplishment of your life at that point. And you think you got no family.
I told him to sit over here.
And everyone's going, hey, congratulations. Can I see?
Yeah. I do remember that. I'm like, no. But anyway, like I always felt like it was always like Kim and Cheech, or Cheech and Kim, Cheech and Kim. And I was like, well, what the fuck happened to Kim?
I feel like that was a lot of like especially the boyfriends with the nicknames. Was like it was always such a thing. Everyone was into the couples, the power. We've talked, last day we've been talking about like just couples.
I just think that's in general. Everyone wants to be coupled up. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I am
in life.
Yeah. I'm pretty content like where I am right now and being single and like taking my time for stuff because like I know what I like right now. Like I'm 100% sure of everything that I know that I want in a partner. Like from this point forward that like I've experienced, a couple long-term relationships, a couple duddy relationships, definitely been through the fucking ringers for Tinder, but or all the other dating apps. But like, I know what I'm looking for and I'm not going to settle or like move. Like I've already kind of settled and I was upset that I settled and I was probably more doubting myself back then when I settled instead of like realizing like, no, damn girl, like, no, like you're beautiful, you're smart, you got stuff going on, you could do this, like you work hard. Like now it's like I know what I want to like partner, whereas before it was just kind of like I don't know, I just feel like some partnerships is just kind of like convenient or where it just kind of happen
because you're just in the same place, same time type of thing.
Yeah. So, and I feel like that's kind of like high school. It's kind of like everyone's like,
sure.
But really,
we have the same friends, so we're going to start going out.
Yeah, and like holding hands,
hanging out.
Yeah, wrestling until you feel comfortable touching each other. Right?
I don't know. I didn't do that in high school. I don't know at all. I had no idea. See how sad that is.
I don't know. Chris Moss. I don't know. For some reason, every time I see his picture, it makes me smile. This one, Chris Moss vents his frustrations after missing a putt.
Chris Moss is the one that shaved the Nike logo on his head.
I do remember that. Yeah, he was fun. Like I said, I used to let him like tickle my boobs in computer class. Oh. Like, why not? I was like, just
in the wrong fucking computer class.
It was like middle school, I think. But yeah, like this stuff that, you know, most unique, best sense of humor. Meredith. Were you friends with Meredith?
When she first came in, I thought we were becoming friends. We had an English class together, but I think I had that class with like a bunch of people I was not friends with, and it really felt like.
Who was your teacher?
Curcio, Mr. Curcio.
No, I think I was in that class.
I can't remember. I remember like Scott Jordan was in the class. I can't really remember anyone else, but I kind of have memories of like thinking that we're like becoming friendly, and of course it's a girl, so you start thinking, oh, maybe this will be my. Or at least I started thinking, maybe this will be my girlfriend, right? But like, it never even like anything like that. But like, I felt that once everyone else kind of became friends with her, and then they're hanging out and stuff. Like, I was like, yeah, like, oh, okay, this is the crew that I'm going to be friends with. You are not.
Well, because they were more popular
in that crew. Yeah.
Whereas it's just kind of like.
But I guess that's kind of like when I come at it from like different angles as far as like, you know, this clique or that was really the type of stuff that I felt I kind of experienced. Like people would start being, and not that she was ever mean, she was not mean, but just less engaging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I think, like I told you before, how I'm the only like Deveny girl that went straight through with Hicken, whereas like I wish that I could have moved. Yeah. But I talk about that constantly, like to this day. I'm always like, I wish I could move. I wish I could move. I wish I could move. Start over. Like, yeah, just kind of like, why not? Like, what's really holding you back? Like now, yeah, I got kids. It's holding me back a little bit, but really, like, you can do it. Anyone can do it, and you might as well just like fucking shut up and do it. Like I do that, like small things. Where like I could be independent and everything, but something like that, like where you just got up and move, like I really wish I had somebody else like by my side.
Obviously, you know, I have I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have like hang-ups about stuff like that. But one of the things that I think about is like, man, we grew up with the same people forever, and so once you kind of make a social misstep, right? This wasn't me, I didn't do it, but the minute you poop your pants in 5th grade. You're known for the next 7 years as the kid that pooped their pants.
I peed my pants one time hanging out with Steve Johnson. I think Brad McGoldrick.
Did they tell people?
Yeah, because my nickname for a little bit was Peabody.
See?
Steve Johnson's just like, Peabody. Like, I was laughing so hard over something so stupid. At McDonald's and Ambler. And like I peed my pants. It was so funny. I just couldn't hold it.
You were able to get over. You were able to make a laugh out of that though.
Yeah, like I said, I can laugh at myself.
That would bother. I would fight over that. Who the fuck are you calling people? You know, like I would like someone would say that in class. I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Who are you calling people? Let's fight. And stare at them. Like, you know, like I couldn't. And so yeah, like I think. Really, the best things that ever happened to me was when I, you know, moved on to college and I went to Montco and I joined the radio station there and I made really great friends, some that I'm still friends with today, and met other friends through them, and then going to Temple and meeting friends there, and then moving to Connecticut, and you know, all the weddings that I've been doing this year are people that I met, you know, from the years 2004 and on.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I became a different person, but I think I was able to remove that. No one had that thought of me from when I was an asshole in 6th and 7th grade.
Yeah.
You know, or 8th grade when I was angry and I was, you know, adolescent and puberty and all that shit. And I was a funny, you know, I don't want to say charming, I'm too hard, but it was like a funny, you know, guy that could drink, hold his liquor. That way, yeah. And it really, my whole life like changed from that to where I have, you know, too many friends at times, too many friends, but I don't think I would have had that if I stayed here.
But
I would have been.
Do you have anybody like to this day that through high school that you're still really good friends with?
George Barreca keeps in touch very frequently. Really good friend in that way. And then outside of that, yeah, I'll Josh and I will text happy birthday.
Yeah, like I don't.
It's very surface.
Yeah, but at least there's that something.
But you're not far, and so like you like
I know I'm not far.
You went to the Ambler Festival knowing that there were going to be people.
Oh yeah.
I went there meeting people who went to North Penn High School and my mom, and like that shit just happened accidentally where there were all these people that I knew. Like that was not anything I was counting on.
I knew like if I was walking around, I was probably going to see like Francesco Santo, or I was walking around actually with his uncle Frankie Gulo for a good period of time, and like then I saw them. I stopped and talked to them. I saw Brooke Johnson. Of course, I sat and talked to her for a minute. Joanna Higgins. Mm-hmm. So I stopped, talked to her for a period of time. I saw, I conquered them out.
Where would you move if you were to?
I don't know. You know what? Recently, somebody asked me that. They said they're like, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, where would it be? And like, I really had no thought in my head. And like, I really started to like think about that. Like, why can't I like pick something like Greece or like Wyoming? I don't know. Like, why did nothing come to my head? And like, it really started to make me like sad. Like, or really like think about it constantly. Like, why do I not? Yeah, of course I dream. But I
don't mean fall asleep dream. I mean like future dream.
Of course, I told you that not long ago I was planting the seed.
Yeah,
remember? Yeah, planting the seed. It's like 2 years, but that seed's being planted. Of course I do. But like, I can't just like think of one place that I'd be like, oh, take like. I mean, of course, like a beautiful island. Yacht around the world. I don't know. Like,
all right, let's think realistically though. Like, let's think like your kids are still
in
school, and you're just like, you know what? I've been here, and you've been in the job that you're at. You like it, but you've been doing it for 13 years. You think, I think I want to try just a different thing. I think the kids will be okay. Let's take a move somewhere totally different. It's in the United States. Where are you going?
Probably, I don't know. San Diego.
Okay. Because of beach, sun.
The sun.
Yeah.
And even though like I'm a fucking vampire, I'm like, let's be outside, but I have to stand in the shade. That's true. Like I love being outside. Definitely. I love it. And like a lot of times I actually do like it when sun's like beating down on me, but
humidity's different. Out here. The sun in California is different.
Yeah, but just like it's sunny, and it's true. Like everyone's happier out in those areas.
I lived there for a summer.
I mean, so it's funny. Like
happy.
I dated a guy who was from like the South, and they're always yes, ma'am. They're charmers. And I remember like I could totally move down south. He's like, no, you couldn't. He's like, why not? He's like, because you fit in perfectly here. He's like, you would not be able to tolerate the people like down south, or like he said, like, it's like I'm too moody or something for them.
My experience with the people in the South is,
I think flatlined, not moody. Just
they got all the time in the world in the South.
Yeah,
I've done some business down there, and I was used to dealing with like clients that were like, okay, let's do this, you got your stuff, let's do this, let's shoot that, let's film this, let's get this guy over here, and it's like, okay, let's do this, and what's our deadline, are we going to do this? And then like I was doing some stuff with people from like North Carolina, and they're just, it's like, hey, do you know where this guy? Oh no, I'll call him, I'll see where he's at. And it's like there was just zero care in the world, and it was like, for me, I want to like seem like I'm on point. But it's like, fuck, I don't think they care. Okay, I'll just chill. I'll just relax, and I'll just stop giving as much a fuck.
Yeah, I couldn't be like that. I could not, like, if something needs to get done, like, I would have to be like, kind of like, all right, I'm gonna get it done. Like, I'll get it done. Like, if you're not going to get it done, I'm going to start getting antsy. I'm going to cry because you're not getting it done. And like, I just need to get it done because that's what I got to do. And like, I got to be like on it and get it done. And then I can move on to the next thing. That's work. Home, I'm like, I'll clean when it gets like, like fall. Like, I mean, of course I do like the 15-minute cleaning daily type thing, but like things that, like I said, I really need to fix, like that goddamn toilet paper holder. Like, I gotta get that done, but I can put it off until I don't want to be outside because it's cold. So
procrastination.
Yeah, if it's nice out, you're not getting, the home is not getting the TLC that perhaps it needs. But I mean, if you were to come over, it's cleaner than your house. So I'm busy.
Thanks.
I mean, but that's like I said, I do like the 15-minute cleaning every day. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I do it every week.
I'll do
30 a week.
You're a bachelor.
Yeah.
Like I say all the time. When someone comes into my bedroom, I always go, just remember, I am a bachelor. The baby pictures are adorable. You know, I don't think I ever really read what parents had written to.
I didn't even remember it until I just looked at it when I looked at it a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh, my mom put something in here. I had no idea.
Oh.
That's the stuff that kind of like makes me like that. I wasn't, and I think I'm still kind of that way a little bit. Like I'm not a in front of everyone, like braggadocious. Like when you get me going, like I can be cocky, but I'm not one to start it that way. And so it's like, oh, give us your quote. And it's like, I'm just like, oh, well, I guess I made it, or like, where are you going? It's like, oh, I'm undecided. I don't know what I'm, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And my mom is so proud and so like, oh, this is my son. It's like, Mom, like that's like, it's not even popping like that. Stop it. You know?
My family were like, yeah, she did it. All right, now whatever happens.
But that's the mentality. Like, I wish I had more of that mentality of like, don't hold yourself back. Be proud of what you're accomplishing in the moment and brag about it. Because no one else is really going to brag about it. You can't rely on your mom to brag about stuff for you as a grown-up. And so you got to learn to put your own shit out there. And that's something that I think for me is like a hard...
Well, I think it's hard for me.
Yeah, it's like what, like, for instance, with these, everyone's very excited about the podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone,
that's fun.
When you talk about it, everyone's like very like, I can't wait. But it's like part of me is like, all right, when this thing drops, I hope it's not a big stink, man. I hope it's not like a wah, wah.
Well, we know we got to do a lot of editing on mine. A lot.
I think we've done it, Kim. I think you did a much more comprehensive interview.
Steven Tyler. Remember him?
No. You do have to. One last thing, though, is you have to sign my yearbook.
Oh, okay. I'll sign your yearbook.
On mic.
My picture?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is my yearbook. Wouldn't it be funny if I signed my yearbook? But I
just got home and
I realized
I signed my own name.
This is funny. I do have some good stories, but I don't want to name drop so much. So.
We'll let everyone else go before you now and name drop, and then when I say, hey, Kim, everyone dropped names.
I know. Do they though? Like, does someone
story.
ever say like a bad experience about high school? Because there's a couple bad ones, but I would never. Say the person's name.
People have talked. Yeah, people have talked about a few things here and there, but I don't think any. I think people are just trying to be honest. So yeah, people are saying stuff, but more in stuff where it directly impacted them, how they felt, blah blah blah.
Yeah, right. I get it.
Sign your name so I can hit stop.
Oh, you have to wait till I sign it?
Yeah, you have to sign it.
Oh, well, I'm getting ready.
That's the last part of the show, Kim.
But you have to know what are you going to read what I'm going to write?
I won't read it on the air.
Maybe I was going to be like, I don't know.
You don't have to say it. It's like a birthday wish.
Right.
The only people are going to know are me and God.
And whoever flips through the book. I'll act like I'm signing right now so you can stop it there. And then I'll sign something.
Perfect. Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
I told you that was awesome. Thank you to Kim for being a great sport. Because Kim and I spent so much time together, I was a little bit more sarcastic than I normally probably am with some of my guests, because the freshness kind of wore off. I'd spent a previous day hanging out with Kim and having drinks and shooting the shit and already learning about her. And so this was really a continuation of that. Like I said, Kim didn't have a lot of strong opinions about some of the typical topics. And so it was a little bit of work for me to get into a groove of conversation. One of the things that I really did kind of push her on was politics a little bit. I did it because I knew I could. Kim and I had already been talking for hours. And so I just wanted to play a little bit devil's advocate and have a real conversation, as I think friends do from time to time. And so it was a lot of fun. Kim is game to talk about anything, which is one of the reasons why she was looking through the yearbook, because she was just like, what do you want to ask me? Ask me anything. What's so interesting about me that you wanted to know? And so we were just really just going from topic to topic to topic. Like I said, I have tons and tons of audio content with Kim. And if I'm a betting man, this will not be the last time that we hear Kim Deveny on this podcast. In 2 weeks, my guest will be Christian Warren. Christian was in that same 4th grade class with myself and Kim Deveny. But to be honest, I never really knew about his life. And what this ends up being is just a great, fun conversation with someone over a bunch of drinks. I mean, a good amount of drinks. Folks, this is going to be the happy hour edition of We Weren't Friends in High School. Get ready. It's a lot of fun. That'll be coming up in 2 weeks on a Monday morning. We Weren't Friends in High School on the Instagram, WWF in High School on the Twitter. REDSHIRTPLAYA, PLAYA is where you can get me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere pretty much it exists. I reactivated the Snapchat. I'm not doing anything with it, but it's there. And finally, the podcast. If you're listening to this on some sort of a podcast thing, cool, thanks, you're doing it. If you're listening to this on a podcast page through a link, awesome, you're doing great things too. But you can make it way easier for yourself. Just subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. I don't know, there's a million of them. Whatever you got to do. I'll help you out if you can't figure it out. You can message me. Promise. And that's about it for me. I will catch everyone again in 2 weeks on a Monday morning with episode 107. Later.